purposes. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling. 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 Every day I'm hustling.
BoxingVoice.com. All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
WBC Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot.
BoxingVoice.com.
To get to where I got to.
BoxingVoice.com. What up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, joined alongside my co-host, King Amin of Essex. Go follow him on those championship rounds. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, the both of us, because we stay up to date. Whenever you're too busy for a long podcast, we got those tidbits on our social media. Today, we're back to discuss Frank Martin. A lot of people saying he edged a close decision. Some calling it robbery. Some saying that this win was less convincing than Haney's win over Vasil Lomachenko. The streets is talking. The block is hot. Baumgardner did her thing. Believe it or not, she definitely got revenge and shined in front of Detroit in a beautiful main event. Then we got to talk about the amateur standout, Andy Cruz, taking leaps and bounds like a Superman, jumping all the way into a 10-round fight and looking marvelous. I ain't even gonna front. Like, he did not look like a debutant, just a debutant. He didn't look like that. Like, he looked very good. But King Amin, what it do?
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, TBV family, boys and girls? You tuned in with the best podcast right here. This is the Boxing Voice. I don't have to tell you because you're already listening. I want to just, a couple of things we mentioned, just kind of glossing over it. Frank Martin, definitely a lot of speculation about the performance. What does it mean? I think it's worth the conversation. You know, I think a big part, and I was plotting on it. I'm like, oh, you know how you got famous groups? You know, people are talking about the division, famous groups. He's like the MC Ren now of NWA. He ain't like DJ Yella. He ain't Dr. Dre. He ain't Ice Cube. He ain't Eazy-E. And DJ Ren is not a bad person to be in NWA, but you can get forgotten that way. People forget about MC Ren. They forget about his contribution. That performance last night, though, against a tricky opponent, and I think he needed that, you know, because I don't think he nor Derek James brought into the hype, but just we have to be reminded that as much as we uplift people, when we put them too close to the sun, they're going to either melt or they can get blinded. So for whatever we thought of what he was going into this fight, he's a human being. He's entitled to a performance that you may consider lackluster. I personally think Party Artie, as I call him, was a very dangerous opponent because you couldn't find any footage on him, barely heard of him, and he was undefeated. Sometimes, you know, you say, he's an undefeated guy. Who's he fought? But this was a very tricky opponent. A Sandor Martin, if you will. That's what I thought. I saw shades of Sandor Martin. So, yeah, man, give Frank Martin his due because for whatever you thought about the lack of performance, it was something he had to pull out. He had to dig deep. That's why I do like this. It's something he showed us, and I hope you guys were curious to see that or obvious to see that, man. But see, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, champ. I think this is a generation of I'd rather shit on you than congratulate you. I'd rather, diss you than uplift you. I don't know that people are giving Frank credit. I mean, again, from what I seen, they saying, he's not
Exposed.
ready.
They love that word, exposed.
Yeah, exposed. He's not ready. He's asking for Shakur and Devin next. Like, and when I say he's asking for Shakur and Devin next, I'm saying, like, people are saying that sarcastically. Like, what? This is the guy that wants to fight Shakur? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I say with a performance like that, though, because that was a guy we didn't know, and I heard Frank. He's like, look, that guy was tricky. He was awkward, and he had power. But that's all post-fight. You feel me? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to jump right into where does Frank go after this? I'm going to say Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin showed us he could box. Art boxed a lot, except Art boxed coming forward. Edwin is on that back foot. I don't know. Art is a good fighter, man. He was doing his thing. I don't think it was a robbery, and maybe I feel like that because I had money on Frank, and he was the last leg on my 3-team parlay. I don't know. But I don't feel like it was a robbery. I don't feel like Frank robbed him. I mean, it was a tight fight. The dude ran away with a lot of them early middle rounds, but I think Frank opened strong and closed stronger. And again, I feel like the guy himself didn't even argue. He was clapping and bigging him up. I know when Jim Gray got into it with him, though, he made it seem like, look, I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I just want to come back. I want to fight in America again. I want to come to Las Vegas again. So that made me feel bad. It made me, I felt like, okay, this dude does feel like he might have won, and he don't even want to express it as to not get blackballed.
Yeah, and all those things can be true, but I also think, got to accept this performance for what it was. It was a gutty performance. It wasn't Frank Martin being exposed. It wasn't that he's not as good. Again, I'll be the first to admit, sometimes we prop these guys high up. We're surprised. I call it being a hipster generation. You want to jump on the newest fighter. First thing smoking. Yo, Frank Martin, I was the first one. Okay, cool. But again, these fighters are very human. Now, one thing we can say, because we've been talking about it a few times this weekend, we didn't see the kind of fighter that we need to pull back. So, yes, this is a fighter. If he's talking, we're talking, Shakur. And isn't that what we want to hear? Okay, yeah, he'll say, yeah, I got some things I need to work on, but what do we want to hear him say? I'm a B+ fighter. You want to hear him say, yeah, I'm ready for the top guys in the division. Now, I think this makes him a very suitable opponent for Keyshawn, because some people would say, instead of looking at him for Shakur and those guys and Devin Haney, maybe some people would say Top Rank brought Keyshawn along better. Maybe he's, a bit more seasoned, and he's got more to offer, has shown more against better, in quote, opponents, so I think right away, if we were talking, that would be a very good fight. How realistic it is, I don't know, but we know Keyshawn was talking about it. You're skeptic.
Man, that shit ain't happening, bro, especially after last night. If Frank would have kept looking unbeatable, but they ain't putting him in there. I mean, come on, bro. We didn't know Art, and he didn't make it to the top of the Olympics like Keyshawn did. And he's not with a super team like Keyshawn is. And he's also not with a great manager like Keyshawn. He's also not with a great promoter like Keyshawn. So, why would they do it?
Well, but this is what I'm saying. He is, though. He is with a super. I told you, he's MC Ren. He's still in NWA. Every time you mention Derek James, Earl Spence, you mention Frank Martin. So, I mean, that's great promotion. And by the way, some people were even saying, yo, this is just a commercial for Earl Spence fight.
Yeah, I seen that. It was crazy.
So yeah, I mean, listen, we just forget about Ren. Ren wrote some hits for NWA. You heard? We just forget about him, and he just got to keep doing more. But yeah, I think it's work. Now I say that too. How much work does Top Rank have to feed both Shakur and Keyshawn at 135? I understand how the business works. I'm not naive, but I'm saying somebody's got to flinch because it ain't enough work.
Nah, that's
Top
not
Rank
true.
Specifically at 135.
I don't think that's true. I think, if PBC was able to keep two brothers away from each other plus Laura, they had Jamel Jamal and Laura all on the same side of the street. And for a moment, all training with the same trainer, and there was no conflict. So,
But
yeah,
that's
there's
PBC,
always
so I'm
enough.
saying Top Rank
I
don't
know.
have enough.
I know. I'm just saying there's always enough food. There's always enough food, especially when you elite, because the food for Shakur ain't the same food for Frank, not yet. And the food for Shakur definitely ain't the same food for Keyshawn, not yet.
Say that again, champ.
I'm just saying what Shakur eat ain't what Keyshawn and Frank eat. It's just different. One dude, one dude is filet mignon and lobsters, and the other dude, they getting steak and take. You know what I'm saying? It ain't there yet. So I believe that there is a world where they can give Keyshawn and Shakur everything. Like if they want to, if they play their cards right, Devin moves up those belts. Shakur fights for the WBC and Keyshawn fights in the future for the WBO. Tank becomes super champ WBA. IBF is going to be Gustavo Lemon. And I believe Isaac Cruz, if he could get the win. If not, it'll be probably Giovanni. What's his name that he fighting Isaac?
Yeah, again, PBC is good. It's a lot of options for Frank. But I don't like a lot of the options that but Edwin Dos Santos, you did mention him.
I mentioned him for Frank because he on that side. He showed boxing skill. Maybe Derek James and the matchmakers at PBC like, damn, we need to see, is this a kryptonite for him? Let's give him another boxer. But again, Artem was a boxer on the front foot. I like that kid. He was coming forward. He was good, man. He deserves another opportunity.
So with a fight, let's just say we go with Edwin Dos Santos as an option.
I swear, I don't even want to jump around, but Bo disrespectful.
What'd he say?
Is that Bo? Yeah, Bo said Andy a C-level fighter. That's crazy that anybody would say something like that. A dude that debuted in a 10-rounder and handled a world-class veteran like that. I don't even know how you could call him a C-class fighter. That's insane. That shit was like, bro, to do that on a debut, that's an A-class performance. Like, yeah, maybe a knockout would have been A+. That was an A-class performance. I mean, did he get hit? The fuck? That's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, we too spoiled. We got these Shakurs and these Devins and these Earls and these Crawfords and these Tanks, and it's like, somebody that just jumped. Like, my man ran right into a 10-rounder. Mind you, Keyshawn fought this dude in a 8-rounder after numerous professional fights. Like, what Andy Cruz did is beyond impressive. He talking about I wasn't impressed. He was beyond impressive. He didn't even look like a debuter. He didn't look nervous. He didn't look fidgety. He didn't look like a deer in the headlights, bro. He looked like he belonged there. How could you say you wasn't impressed? When the fuck have we seen an amateur fighter turn pro and not look amateurish? When have we seen that the fucking announcers don't say, oh, yeah, he still got to get rid of that amateur style. He's still pity-patty. I don't know. I mean, I didn't have the audio on to hear anybody say anything. I was watching for myself. He looked fine to me. He looked, again, he fit right in. I felt like I was watching somebody that I've been watching for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kid, to be an amateur in a debut, That shit was amazing. We never even seen that. He did better than Loma. Loma did not have a 10 round of this caliber in his first fight. You go look it up, and Loma fought some dude nobody even fucking knows to get ranked. This dude fought a dude we know. A dude we know is extra tough. A dude that's durable. And obviously, you know, Burgos continues to prove he's fucking durable. Motherfucker didn't get stopped.
Listen, if I know Bo might have had, you know, the stoppage or something, and he rated him a C+ because he fucked up his parlay.
And let me tell you, I considered the knockout. I felt like Juan Carlos Burgos has been in there with Devin, went 12 with Devin, 12 with Mikey, 12 with so many world-class fighters. I felt like it's like tires. After 50,000 miles, bro, you can't expect them not to give you issues. You can't expect not to get a bubble, not to get a flat, not to do some fucking aqua treading when you are in rainy water. You feel me? Like, that dude got miles on his tires. They not the same tread no more. So I thought there was a possibility that a young Andy who wanted to prove something to Keyshawn would get the stoppage. Luckily, me and my betting crew, you know, they definitely told me no, and I ran with them, and Andy did get the decision, which is what we picked. We parlayed that with Baumgardner by decision, and then we threw in Frank to get a beautiful 3-leg parlay that paid out lovely. Mind you, on the show I said, I know Frank's gonna win. I don't know how because I don't know Artem. But if we would have known, it would have been decision. Lord have mercy. That was paying so lovely. Everybody thought Frank was getting a stoppage. Nobody, the bookies didn't know Artem.
Let me ask you this, and it's kind of tied together. And is there any way that you see Frank Martin and Andy Cruz as somehow a bridge to either Frank Martin or Andy Cruz to Keyshawn?
It's just too soon simply because Andy just signed to Matchroom. And you know that they signed him like a four-year deal, at least 5-fight deal, 4-fight deal. You know, if they look at how long they got Pacheco, they're not letting Andy go. And look at Andy. He doing Fortnite dances. He be teasing Keyshawn. He's exactly what they need. He's a good fighter that knows how to ruffle feathers. He's not just a good fighter that shuts up. And, you know, my man was, I don't know, I guess that was a Fortnite dance. I don't know. It looked like he was teasing the dude, Burgos, because he put an L on his forehead and was dancing around like, dog, you a loser, you a loser. That's how I took it. But I also said to myself, Ness, you older, that's probably a Fortnite dance that you don't know about. You feel me? But I highly doubt Frank Martin gets to eat on the table with Andy Cruz, and Andy Cruz gets to eat on the table with Frank Martin. Different trajectories, you know. I mean, if it wasn't so close, I think they'd have gave Frank a turnaround on the Earl card, but it's only 2 weeks out. You know what I mean? Kind of like what they did with Big Baby. You know, they gave him 8 weeks out. Right away, turnaround. Okay, so people didn't like that performance to put you back in there. You know, I didn't mind Frank's performance. A lot of composure. You know, he showed he could box off the back foot. He was forced to box. We seen him in there with an aggressor the entire fight. Like, I just don't know what people want, you know.
Even in a boxing match, somebody said you'll get hit too much. You know, certain things. It's kind of, you know, it's hard to really, you know, put a beat on it. But I think, you know, PBC, like you said, they got so much depth. He ain't gonna have no problems finding a good next opponent.
I mean, it all depends on what you consider good. You feel me? We really don't know what it is they doing over there. Like, I would have never picked Artem anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is exactly why, but they don't never listen to me. None of the promoters. They always go for these Eastern European dudes that nobody know. I guess they come cheap, but they stinkers. This is what they do consistently. These Eastern Europeans come over and make our guys look bad, and then it's like, for what? You know, why not put him in there with a fucking name? He would have served better beating up on Gamboa. Yeah, we would have had a couple 100,000 motherfuckers mad that Gamboa is fighting again. But the rest of the world, the casual fans, man, they don't give a fuck. He'd have looked better versus Gamboa versus looking, you understand? Versus a dude. He looked the way he looked versus a dude don't nobody even know. At least if you look like that, you know, the defense is, well, Gamboa is a 3-time champion, you know, or a 3-time gold medalist, you know. Gamboa got amateur skills, you know. Gamboa been in the ring with Crawford, he been in with Devin, he been in with Tan, he been in with, this shit to defend him. Who the fuck Art been in the ring with? Oh, yeah, he made a name for himself off of Frank. You know what I'm saying? They fuck up. They always do this. They always bring in these left field dudes that, right, and I get it, everybody deserves an opportunity, but if the matchmaker ain't doing his fucking job of finding out who these Eastern Europeans are, don't put them on your card to make your guy look bad. It's silly. It's just dumb-ass promotion. Because, bro, he would have did better. I'm going to throw a name out there, and I guarantee this is a better name. Former world champ, Ray Beltran. That motherfucker still can make 35. The world know him. The announcers could talk about how Pacquiao bought him a house, how he was a lifetime sparring partner for Pacquiao. Like, you can't say shit about Art. Oh, shit, yeah, this guy we never heard of is giving Frank a hell of a time. Oh, this guy we never heard of is giving Earl Spence pupil a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? My man's forced in the post-fight to say, nah, yo, y'all underestimated Art. He was awkward. He was strong. If that was Gamboa, we know he's strong. You understand? You don't gotta, there's no need for an excuse. But when you bring a dude from left field that nobody knows, this is what you get. You know what I mean? This is what you get. And again, everybody deserves an opportunity, but Earl Spence had a plan with Frank. You know, believe it or not, maybe that plan has shifted, halted. I know that people will argue that they not full steam ahead. You know, I know they not full steam ahead after that. I know they still don't want Shakur smoke. Not the powers that be. Yeah, does Martin, of course. Is Earl ready to put him in there with Shakur after that? Is he really ready to put him in there with Devin after that?
Nah.
You know, you talking all that shit about Devin. You ready to go in there with Devin after that? You couldn't even, like, I mean, he did hurt him. I was about to say you can't hurt him, but he hurt him. He made that boy take a knee. He hit hard.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he broke his face. I guarantee that's a broken orbital.
But that is the thing that people keep missing. Okay, he was down on the scorecards. You had it this, you had it that. That turn of the tide showed you something about Frank Martin. So, okay, maybe he was a slow starter trying to figure this guy out. You know, maybe the next opponent isn't so hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, champ, he said he could knock out Devin in 8 rounds. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you're supposed to do. As the dude on the bottom, you got to call out the top. But, like, there's a saying, don't spit up because it'll land on your face. You understand? I mean, I just don't get it. Like,
yeah, I mean, listen, styles make fights. I think the Haney fight and Martin is a different fight, and I don't see him stopping Haney. Again, if I'm basing it on that performance,
it's a different fight. Absolutely, because Haney's footwork is better than Art. Now, I ain't gonna front. Art came forward. Art was using that right hand to the body. Now, that don't mean Haney won't. Haney came forward on Linares, but then it got, you know, he got overzealous. He went for the knockout on Linares after the 6. Everything was come forward, you know, 3-4 punch combination, and then boom, he got clipped. So after that fight, is he still gonna try to walk dudes down? Or did he learn his lesson like, yo, I ain't walking nobody down when I could beat him with the stick? You know what I mean? Because Art gave Frank a different style. Art put Frank on the back foot from the opening bell. That shit never changed. That dude deserves to come back. We deserve to learn how to pronounce his last name He had all balls. He went in there with the Earl Spence pupil. He said, fuck who's your promoter. Fuck who you are. I am going to dictate the pace of this fight. You about to fight my fight, not the other way around. And he held his ground. Frank Martin fought Art fight the entire fight until them last 3 rounds. That don't mean that he didn't win rounds between, 1 through 9. I'm just saying we was fighting Artem's style of fight until Frank said, man, I'm getting on the front foot. I'm about to start putting some hands on you. And then he changed shit. And he broke his orbital. I mean, he definitely cut from that same cloth. That man, I watched that man eye go from blinking. I'm like, something wrong. His eye blinking. Oh shit, he blinking. Oh shit, that shit swelling. Oh, it's closed. Oh my God, that shit broke. So Frank got power. These guys, he's exposed. I mean, you really don't like the sport. The internet's created the ability to be mean, so people get a kick out of that. Some people like leaving mean comments to see what you say and things like that. So, like, I don't believe he was exposed. He fought a solid fight. That boy defense is nice. I love that high guard. Now, I am afraid that a left hooker will get him to raise that hand because he don't go like that. Like, trainers tell you put your head down and dig that elbow into your hip bone. He actually goes like this and lifts the elbow out to raise his hand up on that high guard. So if somebody doubles the left to the head and go back down to the body, they might get him. Other than that, man, that motherfucker's defense is nice. He showed me amazing defense. Like, Art was an aggressor. He dictated the pace, but it wasn't like he was landing all his shots. Them shits was being blocked. Frank is very good. It's fucking surprising. Like, ain't he from Indiana or some shit?
Indiana.
Yeah, that shit. No, I seen skill yesterday. Whenever you're forced to change the game plan and you don't panic, that's skill. We thought he was a puncher, right? So we expected him to do the Earl, walk him down and get it. He boxed last night. And how are people, he exposed what? He exposed another tool in his basket? He showed you that he knows how to box? Like, what was he exposed by exactly? I don't know.
So, and let me draw another reference in history. He needed it, but he didn't need nobody to come over and tell him you down on the scorecards. It wasn't no open scoring. So he didn't know that he was down. Maybe they told him. I don't know. We like I said, we was doing a fight chat. We had the sound off. But when it was time to dig deep and change the tide of the fight, Frank Martin showed that. And that's what y'all need to pay attention to. Forget about how many points you had homeboy up. That's what happened in the fight. And that is what you want to see in fighters when you're looking at can they hang at that championship level. That's what we say. That second, can they switch gears and this and that. He did that. So I was pleased.
Yo, and this is what I'm saying about dudes that, like, they get a kick out of trolling. A member for 2 months. So he's already a member at the highest level. He's a champ. You know what I'm saying? His name is Boxing. He says, Ness, how would Canelo or Tank look in what Alycia Baumgardner wore yesterday?
What?
Exactly. No, but I'm telling you, the internet's created trolls. So he probably was glued to the screen waiting to see your face react like that.
Yeah,
but he got more. He got more. He got another one, $2. He says, do you guys think Frank Martin got a hard brick?
Come on, man.
No, but that's a play on CYP. Because CYP came on here one day calling to who brick is harder, Tank or someone, who brick is harder, who brick. So my man has not stopped super chatting that. He'll ask you every fighter, like, who got a harder brick? He about to get hit with the brick. CYP's influential, man. He'll make a motherfucker troll him for the rest of his life. Listen, this guy is funny though, man. But I'm glad he brought up Alycia Baumgardner's outfit.
That's what I was gonna say.
I thought it was amazing. I mean, what can I ask for as a man, who loves the sport of boxing? I've never been those dudes. Like, I've watched those dudes. You know, I've been doing this 13 years. I've watched those men like, man, I don't fuck with women's boxing, man. Women's place ain't in the boxing ring, man. Fuck out of it, man. Women. So I never had an issue with it. You feel me? So now I get more boxing and beautiful women because I can't, you know, there's nothing to be mad about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why he wants to see Canelo wearing what Baumgardner wore, but I don't mind what Baumgardner wore at all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the world is changing, man. You know what I'm saying? And women's boxing, not only is it exciting, because think about the evolution. Like, when basketball was just, you know, postmen and old dudes playing, it wasn't cool. But when it was athletes primed for it, it's a great sport. It's not just, you know, tough women or women of a certain lifestyle boxing. These is like real women of different interests and levels of athleticism. And when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner, she's top of the tier when it comes to athletes. Yo, she is becoming a breakout athlete. I saw, I was scrolling through my YouTube joint. She did an interview with GQ, 10 Things Alycia Baumgardner Can't Live Without. And came out with the long gloves, remind me of the Steve Madden boots from back in the day. Had to cut up the side with the, you know what I mean? Like, yo, that's what you want to see. You want to see her. You want to see Clarissa Shields in the stance supporting, you know, always looking comfortable. You know, shout out to Clarissa Shields. This is it. Like, what are we talking about? You know, and then when you break it down to the boxing, I mentioned, why isn't Tony Harrison getting the credit he deserves as a trainer?
Right. You're right too. Remember, you was asking me, so I asked Danny. He confirmed Tony was with her when she got the Harper win. So yeah, I mean, you know, you say it because you know you the one put it out there. So go ahead and finish putting it out to the universe. What you feel he deserves.
Tony Harrison deserves to be Trainer of the Year. Whatever, and it almost doesn't matter what Alycia Baumgardner does this year. Sometimes you got to look in totality, retroactively, and bring it back from where she started to where she's going. With this win over, if you want to perceive her as a nemesis, she's already got the win over Baumgardner. Whatever she does from here is icing on the cake, and Tony Harrison has helped her to not only build her skills, he's helped her to build that persona. He lets her be comfortable. She could be sitting in the stands eating a salad, then flex a bicep on you. She is built for stardom, and she's got a great team around her, and Tony Harrison is a very integral part of that. And if we're giving, again, trainers like Derek James credit, we're giving Robert Garcia, we're giving Reddy Reynoso, it's time to start giving Tony Harrison his credit as a trainer.
For sure. So I just wanted, you spoke about the evolution of women's boxing, and, you know, this is what people my age were used to. And this is a picture of Christy Martin. You know, God bless her soul. She was an exciting fighter. I watched her on many Mike Tyson cards, and you know, she was sure to give you excitement by always bleeding or making someone bleed. She had a very aggressive style. But like you said, the evolution, that was then, this is now. And we see why there's a rise, because there is a evolution, as you said. It's just completely different. We went from a mullet to pure fashion, you know? It's just different, you know? And everything takes time. It's going to get bigger from here, because look at Baumgardner. She's not Clarissa. Clarissa, while she came from nothing, she is an Olympian, two-time Olympian. She's pedigree because she did it once, then did it again. That's pedigree. But Baumgardner has gotten here from the ashes, you know, so both of them are inspiring women, young women, in so many different ways. And I think we're in good hands. There's a lot of women. You know, we've interviewed a bunch of amateur females. Adrian Clark has the Pueblo Rican, which is like a Mexican and a Puerto Rican girl. She's a pretty girl. She could fight. So it's changing. There's a lot of new women coming along in this sport. You got Left Hook Roxy. You know, they just have to develop. My girl, Jadira Bastos. Serena McCoy. They just got to develop and get that TV time. Serena McCoy has that Baumgardner attitude and appeal.
She's on the cusp. She
just hasn't gotten that opportunity. I mean, she just signed a split T, so that's going to help. Eventually, she'll get an opportunity maybe with Top Rank or Matchroom because of her manager.
I always envisioned Serena McCoy versus Sandy Ryan and Sandy Ryan's stateside debut.
I would just like her to be able to develop. I think she's working with Bullet now, too. I don't know if you know.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just to add another layer of depth to the landscape of women boxing and its growth, we had the long-reigning former super middleweight champion on the broadcast as well last night. You know,
I wasn't
Cruz
listening. Dan, you a G. You went back and watched it to listen? I didn't listen. I only watched it without the volume once.
Yeah, I went back and listened to certain parts.
Okay, shout out to you. Nah, so she was on a telecast?
Yeah, man.
Is she still fighting? Is she still fighting?
You know, in my mind, and I'm going to have to reach out to her. Not like I haven't in, but we have a rapport at least. I think I see her trying to get at, you know, the vacant light heavyweight. I don't know if that's going to be
Hannah Gabriels?
When she comes back off of the, you know what I mean, the juice thing up. You know
I mean, but how, though? She was trying to get that fight, and then Clarissa stole that fight. So, like, how is she going to get it? It obviously shows that there wasn't a network interested.
No. I'm thinking, no, moving down, you know, because Hannah Gabriels wanted to move down, but now it's essentially Franchon Cruz moving up. And I think, again, I don't know, but she may have, you know, one of the things she did very savvy on her trip out there, she released a single. Her single was like, I think, top 23 in the UK pop charts.
Yeah, I seen her posting. I seen her post saying that it was like trending and stuff like that. You know, shout out to her. She did a music video too.
Increasing popularity. You know what I'm saying? That you mentioned this guy like Diego Pacheco. Remember, Diego Pacheco went out there and headlined the show on the low, then came back. You know, I'm just saying, I think she might have gained some traction and some popularity enough that her Hannah Gabriels fixed up something. You know, they might be able to find a network, you know. Could be in the UK. It might not even be a stateside affair.
Word. Got some super chats. I got Bougie in Broward County. Keyshawn, him, not them. Exclamation point. Andy, Frank, Kid Austin. What is this emoji? Let me see what they say. Come on. Can't get it. But I mean, I guess that's like do not enter, like you're not allowed. What's the dude like this? I mean, some people do Wakanda for that, but you know that's only when the movie trending. But I got Matt Bet $105 super chat. He says daily dose of Tanquil. Alycia looked great. Andy looked great. Frank looked good. I made money again. Tank Davis is free. Shout out to you. Yeah, I definitely, you know, me and the betting team. See, somebody said specifically this week, like, yo, Ness, you've been gone. I signed up. It's been a month. I ain't been able to make no money. I made you money, champ. I fucking made you money. Yo, and I love that shit. I ain't gonna front. You know I'm an egotistical bastard. And every time I win, every time I'm right, yo, it's like, yo, I get higher on life. Like, motherfucker, I did it again. Like, I did it again. I'm making y'all bread week after week. Like, all I gotta do is sit here and then it's just like, boom, it just happens. It's fucking insane, bro. It's pretty dope. And I bet big, too, so I know. I bet what's considered for me big, right? Which is not big, because I'm a $5, $10, $2 better. So I bet like $45 this week on one bet. I know dudes, bro, that signed up And the same day they signed up, they made $100, $150 bets. I'm like, God damn, you balling, you feel me? So I'm sure people made good money this week because I was very sure Quentin Randall was gonna get that win, and my boy got it. Then we parlayed that decision with Andy decision, and then parlayed that with Frank. So the plus money was raining in, man. All you had to do was make a little bet, and get 3 to 5 times your money back. You feel me? But I got
shout your man Elvis Rodriguez,
yeah,
Dominicano.
He fucked it up though. I mean, shout out to Elvis for getting a knockout, but I had a secondary $5 parlay on a 5-team, and I had everybody in that first parlay plus Elvis and Postal going a distance, and one other fight I gotta check going a distance, but only Elvis ruined it. He fucking ruined it, man. Motherfucker got the knockout. That's the bad thing about betting, because it's like I should be happy my Dominican brethren is looking better. Was I actually able to, defeat his demons and beat a boxer? Because, I even asked Kenny Sims, like, yo, what you think? He like, bro, he ain't fought a boxer since he fought me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still picking Elvis, he said. And I said, okay, I'm picking Elvis too. Now, I was trying to tell the betting group I got that Postal was the opposite of Burgos. That while Burgos, I felt maybe he could get stopped, they was like, yeah, but this is this boy's pro debut. What's to say he gonna be aggressive enough to get the stoppage in a pro debut? So that really sunk in, and I'm like, they right. He might take his time, and they was right. We got the decision on Andy. I was right on my fucking instinct that Rodriguez would get the knockout because Postal and Rodriguez been lifetime sparring partners. Postal's old already, man. He been boxing forever. Like, bro, he got beat by Crawford like 20 years ago. You feel me? Like, this guy, and he never been a puncher. He never been a puncher. The only dude he fucking stopped, which makes me look like a historian, is Lucas Matisse, believe it or not. He got him to take a knee, right? Like, I think he broke his eye again after Danny broke it and shit. Yeah, man.
It's like 2013, what?
I got Keep It Moving, $2. He says, Alycia versus Serrano or Taylor. Who y'all got? Am Breaked Up? What the fuck is Breaked Up? Am Breaked Up. I never even heard of that term. Must be some Detroit shit because Alycia was there. I don't know, but I would love Alycia versus Serrano. But I would love Alycia versus Taylor more. I feel that Matchroom will obviously protect Taylor and try to do Serrano. Serrano is what, 26, I mean?
Yes, which would be a shame. Stop bringing Serrano up. I know
Yeah,
the
but
bag
she
is good
fought,
for her.
didn't she fought Katie twice? At what weight, though? She been up
once.
already.
She fought her once, but remember, instead of taking the second fight, she unified with Erica Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, you know what I mean?
That was a tough fight.
That was a tough fight. And I'm like, why would you go up 2 divisions to fight Taylor? Let Alycia take that work. She even called out Chantel Cameron, Baumgardner, that is,
I mean, Baumgardner and Serrano is a big fight. If she is undisputed versus undisputed, they could piggyback off the men right now.
Yeah.
Right now, they could piggyback off the men. And they can steal that from Clarissa. Clarissa hasn't been able to do undisputed versus undisputed.
Let me tell you something. That fight.
That's a short. Editor, that's a short. They need to know that Clarissa hasn't done it. They can be the first to do it. Katie Taylor is also undisputed, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Baumgardner needs to have her peoples put offers both ways. Offer Serrano undisputed at 30, and then ask Katie, can you fight her for undisputed at 35?
Here's my point, though. Taylor and Baumgardner, that's the fight I know Baumgardner wins, no questions asked. Kayla Taylor ain't got it for Baumgardner.
Yeah, I think that's an easy pick, though. I think even Taylor, I think even Amanda Serrano knows that. Like, Serrano showed me in the Erica Cruz fight that
not gonna get her again.
She don't know how to get off the line. She's a banger. She's gonna bang. And excuse me. Baumgardner's very calculated. She doesn't waste energy. And she's learning so much from Tony. You know that you know it didn't click last night when we was watching the fight together. It happened this morning talking to Danny. Bro, she's getting that from Tony Harrison. All that not jabbing anymore and like extending my right. Yeah.
She be steering like.
She getting that from Tony, bro. Tony does that, except Tony doesn't have her conditioning. She can get away with that. You understand? Not to mention, she could fucking punch. So when she's doing that, you know, she extends that right hand. She makes you take the bait and then swings that left hook at your ass. You know what I'm saying? But she actually, again, lands. Okay,
Yeah, well,
Coach Mitty said they already did it. Chantel Cameron versus Katie Teller was undisputed versus undisputed. I mean, well, some would say that was domestic, you know. No Americans have done it yet, so at least she can try and do that.
But fair point to Coach Mitty. He always coming through.
Shout out to Mitty. Shout out to Mitty, too. He took me all around London last time I was out there. I got to hit out. Yo, it's Dominican barbershops out there, bro. We everywhere.
Everywhere. That's the lineups is fresh out there. $200, 200-pound haircuts.
It is expensive out there. It's bananas, bro.
Yo, but Serrano Baumgardner, I think that's not a 50-50 fight, but that is a fight that's a little bit more. And I still would give the edge to Baumgardner.
I don't even, honestly, that's not 50-50 to me. I see somebody in the chat talking about Serrano definitely gives AB prime. I don't even see that. Like, don't get me wrong. It's funny.
Know.
It's funny because I literally told Danny, I think the problem to give the style to give Serrano problem. I mean, the style to give Baumgardner problems is a Mexican, maybe an Erica Cruz or a sharper Cruz, but it ain't gonna be a girl that can't come forward and throw a lot of punches. And Serrano does do that, but she on the line. She gonna get hit by the Baumgardner. That's the thing.
Yeah.
She on the line, bro. Listen, I watch Serrano fight. Every girl she fight hits her. Every girl she fights hits her. So imagine a girl that could punch, that likes to punch. Like, man,
You know
no.
what? She actually does what you said Frank Martin does. She don't protect her body. She bring her arm up instead of digging in. So, you know, she makes herself a little bit susceptible. But I mean, she is slick and she's come forward. And again, a southpaw, I think she does a lot of things that just with those 2-minute rounds, all right? I don't know. It's just a tricky fight. I think it's a tricky fight. Shit, Taylor did it to Serrano. You know what I'm saying? Not really look like she was winning
but again, Taylor Serrano styles makes fights. That's the style for Serrano. Someone right in front of you. It's two people just boom, 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 boom. That's not gonna be, you know. I feel like Baumgardner gives you lateral movement. She's picking her shots. She hits harder, so she's conservative with her shots, but landing bigger shots. I don't know. And Serrano's older. She's older. How many wars has she been in? Like, I'm not picking Serrano.
No, and I love Amanda Serrano. I'm not picking her. I'm just saying she's got a better chance. It's not the fight with the foregone conclusion.
I can't believe. Maybe it's because I had money on her. Jacob Sims, he said, "Ness, you acting like the Mayer fight wasn't razor close. Baumgardner ain't invincible." I picked Baumgardner in the Mayer fight, so I ain't seen no razor close. I seen me cashing in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see none of that. I seen me cashing in. We made money. I don't know what you talking about, bro. I ain't see no close fight. You feel
Anthony
me?
Brooks, he said, yeah, blah, blah, cheeks.
Yo, shout out to them cheeks, man. That shit crazy. They know what she know what she doing. That's the second outfit like that. But listen, that's what you gotta do. You can't knock her because Ebony Bridges does it. Ebony Bridges does it differently, you know? And Baumgardner does it her way.
Sandy Ryan be looking good in them Versace bottoms with the bikini cut. Gut looking trim.
Isn't Sandy Ryan the girl that did the painted top?
No, that was
That's the girl from Australia.
Yeah, that was Shanika Johnson.
Okay. That's so funny that she's from Australia, looks white, but her name is Shanika Johnson.
Bruh, she gotta be Aborigine or something. Shanika?
Yo, that's crazy. I got Daniel Vega been a member for 2 months at that champ level. That means you made money, Daniel, unless you were scared to believe in me. That's all I can tell you right now. You should have made money unless you were scared to believe in the team. Because remember, with the betting, there's no big eyes and little U's. You know, we like just yesterday, the betting group was debating, arguing a little bit. I felt like they was arguing. And I'm like, bro, that shit is old spades. Like, Martin won already. Like, all that shit, sending videos and links and this and then I told, motherfucker, that shit is done. Like, we don't argue in here. We help each other make money. That being said, again, you should have made that bread. But anyway, he did say, did you guys see Josh Kelly fight? That guy looks horrible. This guy needs a new trainer. He is digressing. Listen, how many trainers is he going to get? Not to mention that he wins the fight and he calls out 2 more domestic rivals. The man, like, you got to just leave him alone. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, there's nothing wrong with a fighter that understands he's not elite. Let him make his money domestically. You know, like if I become a fighter, right, and I could sell 500 tickets in Atlanta and beat on dudes that the matchmaker lets me pick, man, I'm doing that shit. I'm going to make my $15,000, $20,000 plus my purse, and I'm going to beat on the dudes and make my fucking money. You understand? Josh Kelly making way more than that without having to get in there with the dangers any longer. And that's okay because he understands he ain't on that level no more. Like, he learned that, and so let him be, because for him to win a fight and call out 2 more domestic dudes, like, he don't want to fight. Like, he don't want to fight. He don't want to test himself and see if he's the best in the world. He wants to be the best in his city, the best in his gym. And that's okay. You can't knock a man for that. Like, bro, leave him alone. Like, at least he's not beating domestic people talking about, I want Earl Spence, I want Boots Ennis. Nah, he stands to himself. He's in his lane, man. He's in his lane. Leave him alone. Honestly, like, there's nothing wrong with a person staying in their lane. It's worse when you, Frank Martin, saying you'll knock out Devin in 8 rounds. You understand?
Fair point. Another thing, too, I just find it ironic that Josh Kelly, the thing that derailed his career was a loss to who? David Avanesian.
Word.
The lone loss in his career is to David Avanesian.
Who people give no credit to. David actually crushed 2 careers. Jason Lahagra, he was a Lou DiBella dude that he signed, and Lou had so many dreams for him, and David buried him twice. And then he did PBK like that. C. Shiggs celebrating his first super chat ever. Shout out, champ. Shout out. Really appreciate you opening the wallet with us. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. And, you know, every super chat obviously allows us to stay around here and bring you guys this content. It's a $5 super chat. It says Serrano beats AB in the late rounds if she makes it without getting KO'd under 5. Yeah, I don't even see that, bro. Again, Serrano is the older fighter. Serrano's been in more rounds boxed. Bro, Serrano's been punched more. Nah. And, like, let's be real. Serrano just jumped on. It took her forever to jump on that world level. Like, she's a 7 times champ. I get it, but versus who? Why you can't tell me who she beat? I mean, you watch more women's boxing than, honestly, anybody I know. Name 5 champions she beat.
Oh, see, first of all, she didn't beat 5 champions because one particular individual had the 2 belts that she beat. So you can't say 5 champions.
But ain't she 7 times champ or 7 divisions champ? How you don't beat champions would be in 7 divisions or 7 times. Like, what we talking about here?
7-time champion. It was like Danny was saying the other day. She's a 7-time champion. I don't know how many divisions it's been, but she's definitely a 7-time champion.
So 7 times and she ain't beat 5 people.
Nah, because back in when she was winning them, it'd be like one girl with 2 belts, and she'd win 1.
So how many champs she beat?
I would say I think about 5 or 6. 5 or 6 current
With the biggest name being Katie Taylor, right?
Who fought, not even beat.
All right. So who's the biggest champ she beat?
Might be Heather Hardy.
Oh man, there you go. See what I'm saying? It's the caliber, and that's what I'm telling y'all. Like,
if we're talking names, that's the biggest name that
Baumgardner got 14 fights. I'm gonna have to Google this shit because we're gonna give y'all more context. Amanda Serrano has to have 30 fights, bro. Like, y'all tripping right now. Y'all not really. And you know what? I'm saying way too much because the fight not made. I'ma just get that bread on y'all. That's it. You don't want to believe, don't motherfucking believe. This is free advice. She is 34 years old right now. Let me give you some more cold, hard facts. 212 rounds box. Let me pull up Alycia. Yo. Bomb. Yeah. Just so I can see the age and rounds box. Because that's important. Rounds box mean miles. How many miles on that engine? You feel me? How many hours on that engine? Okay, Baumgardner ain't too young. She 29. I mean, look, she still get to say I'm in my 20s. You feel me? But she is 29. She on a cuspy cusp. Damn, she about to get the bug. I hope she don't get the bug. That's what happened to Leonardo. You know, at that 29, you get that bug. She started with biological clock. She want to have babies. No, girl. You better motherfucking get this motherfucking resume. You know what I'm saying? Look, she got 15 fights. She fought Michaela Mayer. She fought...
How many rounds?
86.
Okay.
That's bro. That's not even half. That's less than half of what Serrano has. That right there shows you youth. That's going to show you youth energy. All that. Yeah, Serrano got experience. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's the demo. That's the demo model. You know what I'm saying? That's the joint that you go in there and say, "Look, give me that demo with 146 miles on it."
Word. Bro, listen. It's important. Mileage, I just was looking for a car. Mileage is important. You know, and people with high miles, they try to tell, oh, nah, that's highway miles, which is cool. It's true. Highway miles are better than stop and go. Stop and go means you wearing and tearing on a car a lot more. More probable to, you know, fender benders in traffic, more probable to wearing out your brakes, you know. More wear and tear. Highway miles, you cruising. You know, you barely on them brakes. So I get it. But they still miles. Still miles. You know. You do 100,000 miles on a highway, you change the tires twice. You feel me? So I don't know what people be talking about. Look at Coach Mitty letting us know that Baumgardner go win by telling us that Amanda lost against the first champion she fought, Freda Wahlberg. There you go. That's what I'm saying. But that's okay because so did our girl. You know, she lost to Leonardo. I don't know if that was for a world title, but she definitely lost to her.
It was, and so did Sandy Ryan, by the way. Lost to Erica Farias.
But there you go right there. Look, Leonardo champion. That's one champ that Baumgardner fought in 15 fights. Terry Harper, champion. That's the second champion that she fought in 15 fights. And then Michaela Mayer, third champion in 15 fights. And then the rematch with Leonardo, you can't really knock that. But even Elem was a champion. She unified with Elem, or was that a vacant? Was it a vacant? Did Elem bring the title, or was it a vacant?
I think it was vacant.
Mitty, tell us. You seem to be on it. But what else we got to talk about? I mean, obviously, I gave a lot in the opener about how I felt about Andy, but you want to say anything about Andy Cruz and his debut?
Yeah, man, I think he did great. Again, hell of a debut. It almost, like you said, watching a seasoned fighter. I've talked about those Lomachenko vibes. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking. I'm saying, a little skinny leg dude. But he's moving, just very fluid. And you mentioned the dancing. You mentioned he's always dancing. Well, he be dancing in the ring too. Definitely. I just want to see more of him. I don't want to rush to judgment. Sometimes, because then people will hold you to it. I don't mind being held to it, but it's really his first debut. To go 10 rounds in the debut against a world-class fighter that way, I think it was great. More to come. Let's just see him do it. That's all. And it ain't too much pressure for the Cubans.
Yeah, man. He looked great to me. I have to use the word great because I've never seen anyone do that. Like, Mayweather's great, right? He's the definition of great for us. And he ain't do that. And then there's people out there that say Loma's the definition of great because of how he came through the ranks. He ain't do that. For the Cubans out there that thought Rigo was great because he got a world title in fucking 12 fights, he did not do that.
And that's the name that haunts me. It's the only name that haunts me.
Rigo?
Rigo.
Wow.
Yeah. I just wanted so much more from him. I wanted so much more from him. I felt like they cashed him out after the Loma fight. And, I don't know. He was
look,
fighting
Rigo,
in Japan and shit.
Rigo is a victim of himself. He was with Al. He was with Bob. There's not much we can say. You know what I'm saying? He's also was career small. And in the era, he was in the wrong generation. Like, he would excel now. His divisions is popping now. 118 is fire now.
Rigo versus Bam Rodriguez. Let's do it.
He too old though. It's no reason right now. 10 years ago, Rigo, it's just 118 wasn't popping. Like, look, I'm considered a hardcore because of how long I've been doing this, but I was a guy that wasn't in love with those lower weights. They try to paint me as a guy that never watched it, which isn't true. I know who Vic Darcinian is. I watched him unify, and I watched the entire rise of Abner Mares. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting. I know who Josephat Becco is. Like, I watched little dudes, but those divisions was never popping. There was never a Bam that can create a fan base. Like, Abner was your Bam back then. This East LA, I think he's from. I remember when they put him on and they gave us his backstory. He was like eating out of fucking dumpsters, he said, and he was in a gang and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have anyone other than Vic Darcinian. My man's Armenian. Like, Din Nonito came out of nowhere. It wasn't like there was a lot of dudes popping back then. There's storylines. You got Stiff and Fulton now. Figueroa is pedigree because of his brother Omar. This Chocolatito obviously is older, but he gave a storyline. Kit Kat came out of nowhere, but this is all new. Like, you know what I mean? These divisions weren't flourishing, and that's the unfortunate thing with poor Rigondeaux. He was just in the wrong era, man, because he had opportunities. I mean, Al put him on PBC, bro. Like, I remember that fight with Chucky Flores, I think it was. That shit was horrible. I think it was like controversial too. Yeah. He never fought again as good as he fought versus Donaire, which is sad. Donaire was his best performance, and he could never live up to that performance again. That's just the bottom line. And there was guys that, like Jesse Magdaleno wanted to fight him, but the Top Rank must have knew. They get credit for having the greatest top matchmakers, but Jesse would call out Rigo almost every interview, but never got it. And look, you know, Dog Bay took him out. And that's a whole different time. By the time Dog Bay took him out, Rigo was already old. So you can see that Top Rank just never wanted to fuck with Rigo, because, you know, they iced him out. And B, they didn't trust that maybe Jesse could do it either, because, you know, Rigo destroyed Nonito for them. Which, I got to make a flyer. Rachel's coming. But, yeah.
But Andy should have his success, you know what I mean? Just because of my fear of, what happened to fighters like that. You know, again, it's a whole nother show for another day, man. My confidence. I love Cuban fighters, but you know, that thing that happens with them.
I don't know. Are you talking about like this 10-year ago stigma that they're boring? I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
No,
Come out and say it. Don't be scared. What you talking about? I'm lost.
No. I didn't want to go into a tangent. It's just with some Cuban fighters, you know what I'm saying? It's like, even like take a Ugas.
Uh-huh.
I love the story. Sometimes the story is greater than the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's so much even with Rigo, it was mythology. Yo, we got this little dude from Cuba, and it was like, yo, he's a very good fighter, but you know what I'm saying? So, in that regard, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to.
I'm almost done with Ugas, honestly. You know, I don't know how people took that yesterday, but obviously I interpreted it a different way because I've had physical interactions with him. I've actually met him. I know him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he started his career in New Jersey. When he had them 4 losses, he was in Passaic, in Julian Hammerhands Rodriguez gym of all places. Before ever meeting Al Hamer, before ever meeting Louis DeCubas, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, again, you were on a delay. Did you see when they panned the camera on him and his wife?
Yeah.
What did you see? How did you, like, what did that look like to you? Because that's the moment that I'm talking about, and I feel like it was pretty weird to me. I don't know. Again, I've had physical interaction with it, so I'm interpreting it completely different probably than you, because I got interactions with him. What did you see and what did you feel when you saw it is what I'm trying to find out.
I don't know, like nothing. I didn't think anything of it.
Okay.
I mean, his wife, you know, she didn't look her usual, you know, glamorous self.
Really?
But, you know, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I thought she did look her usual glamorous. I'm
saying like smiling. She wasn't like cheesing like she usually is. Usually she's posing when the camera pans her.
Opposite for me too. I felt like she was definitely smiling. I feel like she at least made an effort to smile twice during that particular moment they panned at them. By panning, I mean the camera.
Yeah.
I felt the opposite. I felt Ugas didn't smile. I felt Ugas didn't give the traditional number one that boxers do, or the fist, or at least exactly, you know, the speed bag. Like, he did absolutely nothing and mean mugged the camera. And I get it. You know, I try to put myself in situations, and I try to, you know, I'm a Gemini, so I have this wild imagination. I try to, like, believe what it is they're going through. So I get it. He got robbed. You feel me? So maybe he's not trying to be the smiley face guy he used to be. But it rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't like that he mean mugged the camera. I just feel like he's becoming someone different. And I've watched it, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I feel like he's believing his own hype, so to speak. So I hope he can shine in that Keith Thurman fight, which I'm not picking him. I'm not picking him. Keith better beat him. Keith need to wake up, you know. It's been a long time since he's been one time, you know. This is a good fight. My man's coming off of a broken orbital. He's got a long layoff. He already got 5 losses. This is essentially another Josecito Lopez. essentially, this is another Josecito Lopez. Josecito had to have like six motherfucking losses at the time. You know what I mean? He lost to Canelo. He lost to Maidana. I mean, Lord, he lost to Jesse Vargas. This off the top too. I'm pretty sure he lost to that dude Virgil Hunter used to train. Damn, he like breeds bulldogs right now. What the fuck is his name? I can't think of it. It'll come to me one day. Can't think of it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ugas was probably sitting there looking at his phone like, yo, I'm away from my house the last time my house got violated.
Checking his cameras. He checking his cameras and shit.
Yeah, yo, like, don't worry. He like, yo, and look, he probably like, y'all got the camera. I ain't want these motherfuckers to know I'm here.
You terrible.
Y'all fucked it up for me. I left the TV on. Remember back in the day, I left the TV on. I want motherfuckers to think I'm home.
Yo,
they
that's
put
funny.
The camera on
That's
funny.
Shit. That's funny. Yeah, man. I hope that fight actually happens, man, because we haven't heard nothing about the Laura and Danny fight. We ain't heard nothing about the Thurman and Ugas fight. What's up with Cobra and Rayo? I'm about to call that shit a rematch. What happened to that? I mean, there's so much shit that they talked about that we ain't getting. I don't know what's going on.
Budget, right? If they paying for Canelo and Mel.
I mean, you still need an undercard.
Well, look, they just moved Nonito. They gonna be digging and scrapping. We ain't gonna get fights in Minneapolis. Yeah. Everything that's supposed to be in Minneapolis and shit, they probably gonna throw that on the undercard of this to kind of between that and then between that and then Bud and Spence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but those fights are bringing in money though. You know, Earl's gonna bring in money with Bud. That's bringing in money. That's they you know. They're gonna either make money and break even, not break even, but make money and cover old expenses, or have extra money. Like plus the Ryan Tank did money. You know what I'm saying? Like they just coming off the back of that. That shit was like April, right? They got they doing good this year without a doubt. Numbers have to be up. I'm just saying. We got a few fights that we've heard on the grapevine were coming that haven't come, like the Mendoza rematch.
Yeah.
We heard that was coming. Now I hear nothing. I don't know. There's no announcement. Again, the Wilder Ruiz, that's not confirmed. Like, how does Wilder sign a skill challenge? Usyk signs a skill challenge. Like, I thought the money was there. What's going on?
Money. I mean, I think that's what it is, and I know all of them events did good, but I think in order for these guys to get paid like they want to, they probably need a little bit more. So maybe after September, you know what I'm saying? Well, shit, maybe after a couple weeks, we'll have a better idea what's shaping out, what's left. You know what I'm saying, with those other fights as far as the rest of the calendar.
So you spoke about what you want for Baumgardner next, which is Serrano or Taylor. What do you want for Andy next?
I don't know.
I'll help you by giving you a small suggestion of what I think. One of my options would be keep following the Keyshawn route and take Yigit next. If you can't get a Yigit, I think Jonah Caro is a beautiful opponent.
Yeah, UK guy.
Yep. I like Jonah Caro. He's a come forward dude. He plays the part in the build-up. I think he's a southpaw. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. No, I mean, he could be forgotten at this point.
Nah, not bad. Because thinking within the confines of what Matchroom can do, or working with somebody that has an independent, none of those are bad options. And we're talking 135. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm drawing a blank because I feel like Matchroom is thin at 135. I don't know what they can do.
Yeah, that's why I said a guy like Jonah. He's easy to get their services.
You think they can get a Jermaine Ortiz, or is he still locked in with Top Rank?
Yeah, he's definitely with Top Rank. He signed the deal. They just announced that too, not too long ago. But he did miss weight, so they might not be happy with him. But they ain't gonna serve him up. Ain't nobody about to serve him up. They not about to. No one is sending they invested in to go fight Andy on another network.
See, that's gonna be a big problem because everybody gonna feel like they being served up. Like, who's gonna fight him then? If
The Jonah Carrolls of the world and the Tevin Farmers of the world and the who else? You know, the Romero Dunos, the Francisco Fonseca,
Jojo Diaz.
The JoJo
Kid
Diaz.
Austin.
Well, JoJo just re-signed with Golden Boy, so he's for sure getting Kid Austin. He's not gonna be allowed to go to Matchroom, but he is with the Zone, so it's a possibility. He is with the Zone. It's a possibility. I just want to shout out my girl Marilyn Paulino. What's up? I had no clue. I mean, I've been seeing your face there, but I'm like, you know how Twitter is. They just steal anybody's picture. But that's really you. She's a lifelong boxing fan, obviously, and been around the sport forever in that New York City area. Takes amazing photos. I'm pretty sure you follow her, right, on Instagram? I'm pretty sure. But I'm just amazed because, like, you know, it's sometimes I think to myself, like, how do people put up with my voice this long? But, like, you've been listening. I've been noticing ever since I joined Twitter Spaces, she listens pretty much religiously. So that's dope. I didn't know you listen on Sundays, too. So appreciate it. No, because, listen, if you ain't listening, I'm not doing it. And then if I'm not doing it, I'm probably not going to be as happy as I am. I love to talk about this shit, for real. So, you know, I appreciate everybody, especially people like her. She's in the sport, you know. She's taking pictures of all our favorite fighters. So not only does she know what she sees, she know what she hears. But, yeah, Tevin is a nice fight. I think Tevin already fought on DAZN and with Matchroom. That's doable. Mickey Bay, another great fight.
To say Mickey Bay.
Yeah, you got to give him some old veterans. Who else? Lee Selby, you know? All these common opponents. Who else with Matchroom area? I mean, the dude that Kid Austin fought, he hasn't been knocked out yet, just like Burgos. Alberto Mercado. Let's see what the Cuban does. Can he knock him out? I mean, there's a few fights out there for development. It all depends, though. Like, this dude leaped into 10-rounder with Burgos. Like, what does he want to do next? Are they really following Loma and doing it better? Like, is his next fight some sort of title shot? Which he really can't get. I mean, the belts are tied up. He really can't get one, but, you know. And he just picked up an IBF something strap.
That's what I was going to say. Some sort of continental something or other.
Well, he got one yesterday.
Yeah. But again, a lot of fighters are going to feel offended. They're like, yo, why you want me to fight? Because, like, what do you want us to do? The kid went 10-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's got to fight him, you know? And 135 is increasingly getting crowded, man. So, you know, I don't know, man. Somebody got to fight him. Somebody's got to fight him. But I think whoever he fights, you know, they shouldn't be, you know, afraid of him. You know, they shouldn't be afraid of again, it's an opportunity. They got to say, as good as he is, or as good as he was, you know, as an Olympian and in the amateurs, you know, you're a professional, you know, and try to rely on that, you know. Try to rely on that. Try to, you know, listen, they could pull a playbook out of Orlando Solido. You know what I'm saying? You could say, yo, you ain't getting that shit off for me.
That's a good fight. Lamont Roach, he might already sparred him, though, because he's over there with Bosey. Roach is in that Maryland area. That's the little drive to Philly. Who knows if they've already, you know what I mean? But, all right, so we talked what's next for Andy. So you got to tell me what you want for Frank.
Yo, that I mentioned a few names earlier, but again, within the realm of being realistic, I guess it's gonna be the Edwin Dos Santos and whatever PBC has on that side. Um, Giovanni Cabrera. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be those names. Eventually, they might want to consider him an opponent for Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That probably may be his tank audition, just to kind of keep, the irons in the fire about that particular fight, Of course, he's not ready now. So we can throw all the Dev and the Shakur talk and all that, throw that out the window. And let's realistically say Giovanni Cabrera, Isaac Cruz, or, Edwin Dos Santos. And those are still 3 good fights. Again, putting them against a boxer in Dos Santos, that should be pretty helpful as far as grooming him for, championship level fights. And everything else is kind of just, within the realm of control and decent opponents,
Devin Haney received so much hate that when he fought Linares was old. But I'm gonna recommend Linares. I think Linares, obviously watching Art do what he did, Linares is a dangerous fight maybe for Frank. He definitely is a puncher. He definitely could come forward. He's fast. He's got a great jab. He's just vulnerable, right? Like everybody that beats Linares other than Haney knocked him out, or is that only Gamboa?
No, I think that was Linares.
Well, there you go. Maybe Frank knocks him out, but if Frank can't knock him out, that's a great boxing match. Like Linares is still a great boxer. You know what I'm saying? But again, he does have that weak chin where, most people do stop him. But is also Frank's first former world champ. And Linares is out here trying to get a title shot. I mean, not a title shot, but trying to get a fight. So, why not put him in there? That's a good fight.
What about Nakatani?
No. What has Nakatani done? All he is a habitual loser. Has he even gotten a win? At least Linares is a former world champ. Whenever he was a world champ, he's a former. I mean, Nakatani ain't done nothing but get his ass beat on TV repetitively. I don't know. Nah.
Bring back.
And again, like why put these guys? This is what I'm saying. These matchmakers are crazy. They must get these foreigners for so cheap. Like why put my guy in there with a foreigner so he could not look good? I'd rather him not look good versus someone people know. Because at least it's forgivable. It's like, yeah, but at least he fought Devin Alexander. He a 2-time champ. Like, fuck is you fighting Nakatani? What we going to say if Frank looks bad? It's like, damn, everybody beat Nakatani and Frank struggled. You can't do that. They don't fucking think, these matchmakers, man. They ain't thinking. They not thinking, but whatever.
But why can we do that for Andy Cruz and not for Frank Martin? Because, again.
Because Andy's still developing. Andy, anything for Andy, anybody, right? Like Linares for Andy is like, whoa, this dude is fucking, he's really trying to show us he's that dude. Like if he fight Linares next, I'm impressed. Andy is fucking leaps and bounds doing greater things than anyone in this sport since I've been following it. Just that's his trajectory. If he takes a Linares next, who the fuck has done that?
Yo,
that would be mind-blowing to me.
What division is Miguel Mariaga in?
Miguel Mariaga, yeah, he's in that 35-30.
All right.
But all he do is lose. Who he beat? Has he beat somebody?
Nah, nobody recently.
I feel like all he done is lost. I don't think he ever beat anybody.
I was thinking for Andy.
Again, that's a decent name because he's a name with other names, but like, I don't think he's ever won. I mean, you gonna fight Mariaga, you might as well fight Yigit. You feel me? Because Mariaga's a common opponent with Loma, and I think Walters, a few people, but that's old news. Don't nobody remember that but us old heads. You need you know, like you trying to build Andy, you might as well put him out on a dude that he's already got a storyline with. So it's like keep piggybacking off of Keyshawn. If you ain't gonna get a bigger name. Because, you know, to get I think Linanas is better than Yigit, a way better name, more value.
Nah, for sure. If they can get Yigit, then again, that's an acceleration, you know. But will you think Yigit to take that fight? They offer him a big enough bag, or will he say,
Bruh,
I'm not interested
come
in
on,
fighting the
champ.
prospect?
Come on, champ. You got to be just saying that like to like, I don't know, for the show, because Yigit, who he signed to, how he gonna refuse a fight? That motherfucker gonna take that fight with 12 days notice. What you mean? Like, honestly, when's the last time Yigit fought? When's the last time someone wrote an article about Anthony Yigit? I mean, and I'm not even out here trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being realistic. Like, these dudes can't say no. Like, I'm about to look up, until you said that, I was in the process of looking up Ishmael Basurro to see when's the last time he actually fought at 35, because he's a dude that can't say no. You feel me? So it's like, if he fought at 35 3 fights ago, they could offer him the Andy Cruz fight. He gonna have to just make it, because he ain't got nowhere to go. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And he's already dealt with Matchroom. He fought Corolla like twice, I believe this dude did. Yeah, he fought Corolla, Kevin Mitchell. That's all Matchroom work. You feel me? So Basurro last time at 35 was actually in 2018, which is a long time ago. He might not be able to make that no more. He is a little bit old. But maybe Andy could take this fight above that weight just to show what he got. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep flying up them ranks. Because this is an old dude he should be able to beat. You know what I'm saying? And he's coming off the Rolly fight, so people will be impressed that he did it way better than Rolly. But again, Yigit just got a win in a 4-round fight at the Quality Hotel. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are dudes that cannot say no. They got to say yes. He got a fight at the Quality Hotel, and this flag looks like from Sweden. My man fought in Sweden at Malamo at the Quality Hotel. This is what I'm saying. A 4-rounder. You know he paid for that himself too. Him and his peoples. Him and his peoples, man. They like, yo, we got to get you on the win column. You know what I'm saying? So somebody could call you again, because that's how it is.
A baker, an oyster farmer.
Yeah, I don't know any other 35-pounders. Nothing's coming to mind right now. You know your man Sandor Morton got a knockout yesterday. I stood away from the fight, but my betting group, my peoples knew he was going to get a knockout. That's so crazy. I'm like, what? Martin ain't no. He's like, bro, he getting a knockout. And he got the knockout.
That guy is forever playing the upsetter.
Nah, Trav is. I know you talking about Sandor Martin being an upsetter, but my man Trav, he ain't no joke. He ain't no joke. Shout out to Trav in Texas. That motherfucker is good at betting. Mercito Gesta, that's a great name. And he coming off of that JoJo win. Oh my God, I would be impressed. Andy take that fight. What?
Yeah.
I would be impressed. He take that fight, man. I'm impressed already, man. Ain't nobody doing what Andy Cruz doing. I can't wait to see what Matchroom do next. I swear. I hope they don't. See, I just hope they don't do a sidestep. See, Martin did a sidestep. Really hurt him, because not only was it a dude we didn't know, a dude that wasn't better than his last opponent, because Michelle was better than this. Michelle was more known than this. Now you take this sidestep to this dude we don't know, and some people think it's not a good performance. I thought he did fine. I put money on you, champ. We chilling. You know, I love your defense. I did a live fight chat. You can hear me, praising the way you fought. But others think it was him, quote unquote, edging it out, squeaking it out. So you just better off fighting a name. So when that happens, is at least versus a name. Like, I mean, yeah, he looked like that. He got caught in the end of the fight because it's Charles Martin. He's a former world champ. That's why he got caught, not Jerry Forrest. You feel me? When he got caught with Forrest, it's like, dang, he a journeyman. Oh, he lost 8 times. You got hit by a former world champ 1 time. Okay, so what? It's different. It's different when it's a name. But anyway, we're going to open up the phone lines. We done talking. Unless you got anything you want to say that you felt we haven't mentioned.
Nah, I think we covered everything, man. Let's let the people call in and give us their opinion and give us their feedback from what happened.
Word. I guess that's not a bad name, but that's a tough fight. And that's a top-ranked fight. I think he's trying to say Robinson Conceal that Shakur fought. I don't know how they make that fight. That's too tough. That's top-ranked fighter. He's an Olympian from Brazil. They're not just gonna send him.
That's a tough-ass fight.
They're not just gonna send him. But that's what I'm saying. Like these guys don't think they're not just gonna like. I paid for an Olympian, and now because he lost once, I'm gonna just send him to Matchroom to finishing him off. I make no money like that. They crazy. But anyway, let me open this up. Where are we at? Okay, I'm a little lost here. But we're going to get it right. There we go.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Let me get to these super chats before I get to the callers. We last stopped off at C. Shiggs. We got Boxing with a $2 super chat. Says, I'm going to rewatch the Baumgardner fight before I go to bed tonight. You little horn dog. We got Manuel LG, $5 super chat. Says, salute, champ. I bet the Andy Cruz fight to go the distance. So did we. Salute to you. But you a member, so you should know that. We got Leonard Sterling, £2 super chat. He says, what about Artem for Cruz next? That would be very, very impressive. Honestly. It would be a different version. Artem's face is broken now. It's got to heal. So maybe not next because we don't want to slow down Andy. You know, Matchroom puts on a lot of shows. They could keep him busy. Look how they did Pacheco. They developed Pacheco and Raymond Ford so nicely because they have so many shows. I don't think I want to see him wait, but that is a good fight if they can make it in the future. We got Boxing, $2 super chat. Says, Ness, where's Lady Shan? I mean, would know he had his shirt on the other day. We got Eric Cruz, $5 super chat. Says, what did Mike Tyson tell Chris Hemmingsworth after they worked out at the gym? You're going to be Thor tomorrow. Love, TBV. All right.
You get it?
No.
With the list, you're going to be tomorrow.
Oh,
like
not sore Thor. Ah, that's so funny. You guys are terrible. We're going out to the phone lines. I got Big Boss Nino.
Yo, Ness, I mean, you can hear me?
Perfect.
Crispy.
Yeah, man, it was so many fights on yesterday. Try to make this shit a little quick. I'll start with Cruz, dog. I ain't like how Keyshawn. That's what I be saying about Keyshawn, dog. Boy be having them Twitter fingers and shit too much, shaking his head and shit like that about Andy. That nigga Andy had a great performance for his first one, man, coming over here, jumping in a 10-rounder with a respectable opponent. Ain't like I expected him to lose or anything like that, but dude ain't never been stopped before, and he did what he had to do. I just wanted to see what his power looked like. I don't think he gonna have no extreme knockout power or anything like that, but shit, you ain't got to knock everybody out to win no fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know this dude never been knocked out. This dude's been in there with bigger punches, proven punches like
yeah,
Mikey.
I already know all that. Yeah, I already know all that. That's why I said I was just trying to see what his punches look like. But even with him hitting dude, I don't think his power is just too crazy, in my opinion. But then again, it's just one fight. I ain't never watched all this amateur shit. But he looked great to me, dog. So I don't think anybody should say anything negative about him. Like he showed some little flaws, but you know what I'm saying, it's his first time. But I gave him an A+. And I ain't even watched the Showtime shit till Frank card came on. But speaking on Alycia, I see why she trying to do Serrano, because that would be probably her biggest pay. I think that would be her biggest payday unless she want to give Michaela another fight. But I don't even think she want to do that, to be honest. Not saying I think she'll lose, but she just be
Michaela
beefing with
moved
old
up.
girls.
Michaela moved up to 40.
Yeah, you don't think she'll move back down if she try to get a rematch?
Oh, you only listen to the show on Twitter. You ain't see the picture we shared of Michaela?
Nah, I ain't see it. My bad. I ain't even see it.
Oh, nah. You got to check her Twitter. Nah, man. She posted a picture, backside, and was like, caption was something like, I'm a big girl or something like that. So, I don't know, something like that.
Oh, yeah, understood. Well, shit, yeah, I see why she called out Serrano. But with Serrano, dog, after her last fight, I wouldn't even pick her over Alycia, dog. Not unless she could just put her foot on the gas and bring back some shit. But I don't even see her beating her, dog. I think Alycia will just piece her up the whole fight. And I think they need to go to 3-minute rounds, dog. Every time I look down and look back up, it's like 50 seconds left in the round. I don't like that shit about women's.
Word.
And
I mean, it's good
yeah,
when you
dog,
bet in the distance, though. Them rounds go quick. For real.
Yeah, facts. And about Frank, dog, man, everybody killing my boy, man, off that performance yesterday. And I ain't even never seen dude before, so I ain't as tough on Frank as some people is. But I think it was a good fight to about the 7th, 8th round, and then shit, Frank took it over from there. And you feel me? Like, I feel people just hard on him, dog. Like he don't never get the respect I feel like he should get, dog. I feel like if it was Shakur or Tank or anything, like Tank, for example, with Barrios, dog, he had a good ass fight with Barrios, knocked him down in like the 7th, stopped him in about like the 10th or the 11th, and everybody hype him up. And Frank damn near did the same thing yesterday. Basically, almost.
Damn near is not
What
the
you mean?
same. Like, first of
Nah,
all,
nah,
Tank.
nah. I
he ain't-
understand Nino point because I said the same thing.
Yeah,
earlier.
that's what I ain't saying it wasn't. I ain't saying it was the exact same, but I'm saying like he damn near got the stoppage in the 12th. Boy just started running for his life almost.
But Tank had Barrios doing flips in the ring, bro. Y'all tripping.
Nah, but I know
about being down. Go ahead, Nino.
Yeah, man. I wasn't saying it was like the same type of performance. I was just saying, bro, like Tank got the stoppage, of course. But I was saying like if that fight would have went to the cards, I felt like people would have been like, oh, bro, you seen how Tank came back at the end, whoop whoop whoop. But it's like with Frank, they saying like I've been hearing people say he closer to Keyshawn and shit like that, and I just be like, damn, dog, the nigga like 30 years old, he started late. And shit, I feel like he did good yesterday. Like, I ain't never seen old boy. So if I seen old boy and I was like, oh, he trash, I'd be like, yeah, Frank was on some bullshit yesterday. He should have got a stoppage. But it's like, how am I say he was supposed to get a stoppage against a motherfucker I ain't never seen before? You know what I'm saying? Just because I ain't seen him don't mean dude trash. So that's my only pushback to it. And even with Shakur and Tank and all them shits, man, them niggas not finna fight Nets no way. So it's like, I don't even know why motherfuckers be talking about that. I think with Frank, possibly his next fight might be De Los Santos. Me and a lot of the homies been saying that the last couple of days. Well, like since yesterday. But that's really the only fight I see over there for him, cause it's like Shakur on the other side of the street, Loma over there. He don't bring enough money to make that fight happen. And I don't see Tank fucking with him. Like, I think Tank gonna go after like Pitbull, maybe Haney, but I see Tank doing the Pitbull rematch. And from there, it's like, nigga, who else we got? Like Zepeda? Man, Zepeda ain't finna fight nobody. So it's like, bro, what else we got? You know what I'm saying? It's like really only De Los Santos, in my opinion. So I think if he get past De Los Santos, people still ain't gonna give him credit because they're gonna be like, who the fuck did De Los Santos beat? He ain't beat no champion or anything like that. And if he beat Keyshawn, they gonna be like, oh, the nigga's still young. You feel me? It ain't no winning in his boxing shit, bro. It's like you just gotta take it for what it is. It's like that Boots performance, dog, against Kieran. Niggas kill you. You have a good performance, then they all back on you. So It's just a lot of up and down shit in this boxing shit, man. It's just whatever you do your last performance, and if he have a good performance next time, they'll be back on him. But I ain't off the bandwagon yet, dog. I still want to see him against some top guys, and I ain't finna kill him about that performance yesterday. But that's all I got, man. Y'all hit that like and subscribe button. I'm gonna keep listening in.
All right. Thanks for calling in, champ.
That's what I'm saying, man. He saw what I saw when you talking about digging deep, showing resiliency. When you down, you know what I'm saying? You got to dig deep and pull it out. Pause. And that's what Frank Martin did. So I'm glad that Nino was an astute boxing fan and he was wise enough to see that. Thank you, Nino.
All right. I got David Maldonado, New York City. What up?
Yo, today I see we got today's show is called The Cuban Voice, and then we got Amin up there, so that means we got the woman's voice, because Amin is the voice of women's boxing, man. Big shout out to my homegirl, Jessica McCaskill. Nobody want no smoke with her. That's my little crush on the low. As far as Andy Cruz, I would like to see Andy Cruz fight. Linares is a good fight for Andy Cruz. Linares, Pitbull Cruz.
What?
What's the guy's name?
Funny.
Pitbull Cruz. Why not? Lomachenko would have done it. Lomachenko fought Salido in the second fight.
Bro, what world you live in? What world you live in? Pitbull's on the Earl Spence pay-per-view. They just gonna go ahead and send him to fight Andy on Matchroom. Bro, you guys gotta
I didn't even know
wake
about that
up.
one. So forget about Pitbull Cruz. You can give him Linares, or you can give him the African kid that fought against not Ryan Garcia, the one that fought Shakur Stevens in Nakatilia. Serve him up to Andy Cruz. As far as Frank Martin goes, I'm not going to write him off, man. A lot of boxing fans, they have a bad habit of just because you see a fighter have a performance that's not vintage, right away you want to say he's not good, he's not overrated. I've seen this movie before. The same way people were talking crazy about Regis Prograis. Not that long ago, Regis Prograis was the boogeyman at 140. You know, people have to learn. Look what happened with Lomachenko. They thought he was done against Jermaine Ortiz. He turned around and got damn near the whole world thinking he beat Devin Haney. Teofimo, they say he should be in the straitjacket. He just probably ended Josh Taylor's career. You know, boxing is like that. Sometimes we see guys have a performance that's not all that, and people write them off. And look at Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis, people were saying that he was overrated against Karen, and now Boots Ennis is looking like the second coming of Felix Trinidad with more special effects. You know what I'm saying? So I think Frank Martin is still a good fighter. I still want to see him fight somebody good. Maybe he could fight De Los Santos. And as far as Chris Colbert, I did hear that Chris Colbert is going to have a rematch with Valenzuela. They should put that on somebody's undercard. And what else I'm looking forward to? Keith Thurman against Ugas. That'll be a good fight. So the winner of that fight, they can serve it to Boots. And then we got Danny Garcia, another one. My guy Danny Garcia is going to shock the world when he beats Everett Randy Lara August 8th. Brooklyn, New York, the Barclays Center. I know you know about that.
August 8th. You really think they going to announce that fight in less than 30 days, bro? You're tripping. That shit ain't happening.
I got to say, yo, PBC, I ain't going to lie to you, man. PBC, boxing in general, bro, we getting a lot of fights. 2023 might be probably the best year ever in boxing. After 2017, 2023, we getting so many fights. We got Canelo versus Charlo. Everybody hating on that fight, bro. People try to tell me that this is the same as Tank versus Leo or Kell Brook versus Triple G. This is not the same. Because unlike those other guys, Charlo is the man in his division. Charlo's wrecking shit, you know what I'm saying? He's wrecking shit. And Charlo and Canelo, they both started at 154. This is not the same as them other guys. A lot of people don't know about boxing. If we give Aaron Pryor all the credit in the world for beating up little Alexis Arguello, who moved up, who was also wrecking shit, we got to give Canelo credit for fighting little Charlo. Straight up. And just like I told you, Ness, you try to discredit Bivens' win over Canelo. No, that's a great win for Bivens, too, because Canelo proved. In fact,
bro,
Canelo
what
was
you
a champion
talking about?
at
Ain't nobody discredit that win. Why you be
No,
lying?
but you tried to know one time. You compared that to Mikey and Earl Spence one time, bro.
Bro,
That's a
it
great win for
is.
Bivens.
It is. It's a bigger man beating a dude smaller by 2 divisions. How is not the same?
Because Canelo been the champion in that division before. That's why. Canelo won a belt at 175. He knocked out Kovalev.
He
at
wasn't
175.
unifying.
So to me,
He wasn't unifying.
Say that again?
He was not unifying. He went back down. It's not the same.
Yeah, he did go back down. No, he did go back down, but he still gets credit for it. He's not like, Canelo's still a proven fighter at that division. He beat somebody in that division, knocked him out, flatlined him. So you got to give him credit for that. That's not Canelo at his best, but you still got to give him credit. Even Earl beating Mikey Garcia, I give Earl credit for that because going into that fight, Mikey Garcia was also wrecking shit. He was beating Adrian Broner. He was beating bigger guys like Lipinets. And going into that fight, me personally, I gave Mikey somewhat of a puncher's chance. I said if Mikey's power can carry up, he might be able to pull it off. See, with Leo Santa Cruz, it was different. Leo Santa Cruz didn't have absolutely not one advantage going into that fight. The only advantage we gave him was if Tank happened to not make weight. Other than that, Leo Santa Cruz had no physical advantages against Tank at all. So that's why, same thing with Kell Brook against Triple G, same thing with Canelo and Khan. It's not the same. Charlo, if Canelo beats Charlo, it's the same thing as, well, not the same as Bivol being Canelo because Charlo never fought at 168, but Canelo's definitely going to get credit for that fight. Definitely going to get credit for that. Just like Stephen Fulton. If he beats Inouye, Stephen Fulton got to get credit for that too. Even though Inouye never fought in that weight class, man. Anyway, man, that's my call, man. I got to get back.
All right, champ.
Salute, family.
Fats, what up?
In the building.
Yo.
Fats,
What it do, Ness? What it do, man? Cool. Yeah, man, I ain't get to check to see Baumgardner fight, man. I'm mad as shit. Well, I ain't too mad because I don't really be, for some reason, I don't really be hyped to go rush to the screen and see women beat up on each other. That's just me. And then she fine as can be, but I'm going to just have to catch the highlights on that one. But I saw that she won and shit. That's good. I think she'd be a good face for women boxing because she definitely can sell. But the Frank Martin fight, yo, I mean, people making it seem like just because they ain't no dude that he just a bum and Frank was just supposed to walk over him. And he was a big favorite as far as like on that bet and shit. I saw that. But when you look at it, like, dude was doing a lot of good head movement. He was putting some punches together, mixing it up. His timing, he had good timing. So he was throwing Frank off, it looked like a little bit, and he was taking Frank jab away. Like, people don't understand that. Like, he was doing a good fight. Like, going into the 10th round, I had up 6-3. I was sitting telling my girl, I said, oh my God, if Frank don't get these next 3 rounds and get a knockdown, he is either going to be a draw or he edged the fight out, but he got to do it. And the fact that he did it, man, like, that show a lot about him as a fighter. Like, he might have started late and shit like that, but for him to start late and all that and be able to dig deep, and he showed championship mettle right there to me. Like, I would like to see him in a title shot. I'd like to see him against, probably if we want to be realistic, maybe he's a paid. I would like to see him in there with Tank, but I want to see Tank fight Devin. Like, that's it. Like, ain't no need for you to fight no lower level people. So I think Frank getting up there, man. I think Frank ready. People talking about Frank ain't ready. I think he good, man. I think this is a good career building fight for him because the fight was exciting. I liked it. The fight, I was like, oh, this was a nail biter for real. You feel me? Like, dude was mixing it up and kind of had Frank thinking and shit. So I think that was a good fight for him as far as moving forward. What y'all think?
Yeah, I liked it, man. I was it's shout out to Art because I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, I think it was you that said or the last caller, like, I can't pick Frank by knockout if I never seen Artem. So I picked Frank to win because I figured he gonna get the win because he's supposed to get the win. But I don't know what Artem bring to the table. So when he came out from the opening bell on that front foot, aggressive, I was excited. I'm like, okay, this guy came to fucking fight.
Yeah, and he hit Frank. He hit Frank with a clean ass uppercut to the body. It kind of hurt Frank a little bit. He bent over and like smiled a little bit. I was like, yeah, he caught you with a good one right there, boy. Like he came to fight, man. That was a good fight. So I think Autumn, I don't see him being no champion or nothing, but I think he'd be a good fight and a good out for anybody at that weight class. And my boy Nino hit it on the head, man. I be liking his calls sometimes and shit. Most of the time and shit. The Andy Cruz shit. I mean, Keyshawn, bro. Them dudes some keyboard killers over there, man. Like, man, stop talking. Y'all want to keep on talking and shit. Like, Keyshawn, you don't need to make this dude bigger than probably what you think he is or what he is. Like, dude 26 just turning pro, man. Like, dudes that start late like that just turning pro, I mean, I don't really think they really going to be too much or nothing. He got skills, but, you know, these dudes got to stop talking and fight somebody. Autumn, you know, for real, Autumn was better than Junetao from Rush Hour that Shakur fought. We want to be real. Like, come on, man. Like, these dudes, that wasn't, I ain't going to say Frank was off. I think it was good that Frank left himself room for improvement. He was humble and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you do got shit to work on, but I think he should continue to be a pressure fighter because he got a good inside game, man. Keep on building on that, and I'm looking forward to his next fight. Appreciate the call.
All right. I got... You got something?
Real quick.
Yeah,
Two
go
things
for
that
it.
Fat said is Zepeda. We forgot about Zepeda as an opponent for Martin. I like that.
What's Zepeda?
Golden Boy. William Zepeda.
Man, you know that shit ain't happening. My man literally went to Zepeda fight, asked him for a fight. They said they liked the way he approached them. It's across the streets. William Zepeda's with Golden Boy. I can't even believe I got to tell y'all grown-ass men and don't want to believe the truth.
Yo, man.
Who is Zepeda for? Let's see. Tell me who he fought that isn't on his side of the street. Like, why y'all believe this shit?
Because every now and again, once Oscar get you fattened up over there, he put you out, you know what I mean, and make you work for it.
William Zepeda will not be fighting Frank Martin anytime soon. I'm just, again, it's business, man. Like, even corporation dealerships, right? They're still individually owned, right? So, like, I could open up a Chrysler dealership. Yes, I have the Chrysler name. Don't mean I can call for Amin's inventory in his Chrysler dealership. Like, yo, I got this lady sitting right here looking for that vet you got. Like, yeah, you really about to give me your vet. Come on, man. Stop thinking this shit. It don't happen in no business. Like, when has Pepsi and Coca-Cola done a commercial together?
Nah, but look.
Y'all crazy, man. It's fucking hilarious.
Right? What is it ever like? Yo, I bet she want this blue minivan.
No, I can. No, you can never call another dealership unless somehow. Unless somehow that dealership is, like, you know, owned by the same person or by the same LLC. But I can never call a Chrysler in Jersey asking for they gonna look at me like I'm stupid. Don't matter what sales rep, how many cars I sold, like, they paid for that. They gotta sell that. They gotta owe a bottom line. Like, those they paid for those cars. So when they do taxes, they spent X amount of dollars to buy inventory and made X amount of dollars. They just gonna send that car to you so you can make the profit because you got a lady over there that's dying for a Corvette. Y'all funny as hell. Y'all funny as hell. And then they laugh at me like, Ness, what you talking about? It's like, bro, this is business. I'm not about to let you come up off me. Like, Leonard tells y'all the truth every day. Eddie is just talking. Look, all that shit, Andre came to PBC. All them alleged offers and all that, Charlo, 7 million and yada, 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 yada. Where the fuck is Andre? PBC. He had to go to PBC. It didn't matter what Eddie said he was offering, what Eddie really offered. You had to get away from Eddie and come without him in order to fight on this side. These motherfuckers is playing chess. We talking about the biggest fight in boxing in 2 weeks, and it only happened when Crawford left. He had to leave. These dudes, I'm not giving you no money. Look at Ryan. Ryan had to put his foot down and say, I'm only fighting Tank next, and take the worst contract next to Devin Haney's. Like, bro, this shit is not normal. Like, Pepsi and Coca-Cola don't get down. That shit. And even when Showtime and DAZN got down, remember, Showtime was lead broadcaster, PBC was lead promoter, Golden Boy was not involved, they banner wasn't on nothing, and DAZN could only offer the pay-per-view. That's it. Like, man, you kidding me? Business is crazy. They not helping nobody come up. That's why I mentioned, free agents or people with Salida, people with Lou DiBella, people with MVP promotions, things like that are feasible, things that could actually happen, man. Any free agents, Linares is a free agent, Tevin Farmer, Mickey Bay, all them free agents, man. What's Francisco Vargas doing these days, right? He got knocked out to Rayo. He made Rayo popular. If it wasn't for that knockout, where would Rayo be? Or am I thinking of the right person? Was it Rayo or Pitbull that knocked out?
No, it was Rayo.
Well, there you go. Bring him around the corner for Andy. Dust him off. But I got Stephen, what up? You gotta unmute, champ. Champ. Can't talk, you busy? General Camino.
Yo, Ness, what's good?
What up?
Yo.
Coolin', bro. Coolin'. We had a good night of fights last night. I ain't gonna stunt. That Frank Martin fight in PBC, they late with it, man. The East Coast be suffering. I damn near fell asleep watching his fight, but...
Word. You ain't lying, bro. Being on the East is a problem for this boxing shit. Starting cards at 10 and 10:30, that's not even fair. That's very crazy.
Yeah,
I got lucky I took a nap before the fights. That's what happened.
Yeah, but who do it well? Daz didn't do it well. They had a good card. Shit started at 8. I think Alycia was banging out by about, say, like 10:15, 10:30, somewhere around. Yeah, they had their situation nice. But, the Frank Martin fight, Artem, they got to keep him around, bruh. They found a little European that could really get the job done, He went in there and gave Frank a good fight. I felt like the first say like 4 to 5 rounds, he was very heavy on that front foot. It didn't look like he was, tired, but by the end of, say, like round 4 going into round 5, he kind of let up. You could see him getting tired, and then from there, Frank began his little push to victory. But what I will say is another person who fought well last night on that front foot that showed that they was conditioned was that dude that fought, was it O'Quinn on the Baumgardner undercard? That dude, he fought pretty well on the front foot. I mean, after a couple rounds on the front foot, he was on his stool. He wasn't even breathing heavy. So, shout out to him. I thought he fought a good fight. He ended up losing, but, that's how boxing go. What else? Yeah. He was good. I like the way he was fighting. He looked like he was ready to bang out last night. He did a good job. I wish he got the win. He deserved that shit, but boxing is what it is. What else we had last night? We had a whole bunch of shit. The Baumgardner fight. I thought that was a good fight. I don't know if Tony Harrison is ready for Trainer of the Year just yet. I think he needs.
He undisputed a champ. Why not? He undisputed a champ. Explain that.
When did he undisputed?
He had her when she beat Terry Harper. So he's had her for all those fights.
And look, this is why I say it.
But I'm saying, like, trainer of the year, you got to go by the year. You feel me? So, like, I understand she had a great career with him, but trainer of the year, you got to go the year that you given the award. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. It would be better if he got another fighter, and then he could kind of add something onto that for a given year. I mean, as far as being a great trainer for Alycia for her entire career, he's done a great job. But I'm trying to think of which year you could give him trainer of the year. You feel me? It can't really be this year. I mean, I don't think that win last night was really enough.
Well, you know what, though? Think about it like this. He took her to undisputed and then avenged the only loss on her career that she got when he wasn't around. So he basically put his arm around the little homie and said, yo, we'll point him out. Which one hit you? Remember back in the day? Which one hit you? Point him out. And then, boom. And then, like, yo, that's worthy.
I feel you. That's my time, though. I definitely want to say Frank Martin, he need to get like an Isaac Cruz or somebody, Andy Cruz. Get him either a Fortuna or a Linares. He game time. He ready to go. I wish I saw a little bit.
Fortuna. I like Fortuna. That's a good call. Stefan, what up? I like the Fortuna pick. My boy need a fight. Shout out to Fortuna, was willing to pick me up at the airport in DR. Fucking love this show. Stefan, what up? You got that TV on? I heard Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Yeah, I'm just rewatching the Frank Martin fight from last night.
Nice.
So yeah, I've basically had to try and keep up with about 15 hours of boxing that was showcased last night. And the Frank Martin fight, I mean, basically, I had it around about 9-3 to Martin, which does seem wide, does seem big, but I feel that, I don't know whether it's a thing where people that were expecting more from Martin and they were surprised at how Harutyunyan was coping, and I think people were giving credit for how the German was actually performing, you know, above their expectations rather than what he was actually doing in the 3 minutes. So I think the reality is Martin didn't do anything particularly wrong. I think he pretty much bossed the fight. He clearly dropped a couple of rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, but he was working for every minute, for every second of every minute, and it's no big deal, really. I just think that there's too many eyes almost on boxing. There's too much criticism on fighters who are coming through. There's so many networks, and it's you know, he's main eventing a card where maybe a decade ago, 20 years ago, he wouldn't have been. He would have just been sort of still learning his trade. So I don't think that anyone needs to get too over the top about whether Frank Martin's good enough or not good enough. I think that, you know, time will tell. He hasn't done anything wrong. Let's put it that way.
I feel the same, man. I think it was a great performance. You know,
yeah.
He had to deal with a style that, you know, he wasn't that he didn't know. Like, you know, he said he couldn't even find tape on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, David Avanyasin, who fought, didn't he beat Shane Mosley? Was it Shane Mosley's last fight, David Avanyasin?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then Josh Kelly, who lost to David Avanyasin a year and a half ago. He fought last night, Josh Kelly.
And called out domestic fighters.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. You've got domestic, as in British level or whatever nationality they are. And then you've got European level, like on the continent, yeah? And then you've got fringe world class, you know, and then you've got world class, and then you've got, I suppose, you know, the best, the elite. And Avanyasin, he took Josh Kelly apart. he assessed the situation. He took him apart. And this was about a year and a half ago. But we all see what Terence Crawford did to David Afanyasin back in, was it December? And it's all about levels. The old cliche. It is about levels. I think that Harutyunyan and Martin, it was just about levels. There's nothing wrong with the German. He's been main eventing over in Hamburg on like the Universal shows in their big arenas, and he is a bronze medalist from the 2016 Olympics. So he's a selling point. It's a commodity. It's a commercial. He's a commodity. And the fact that he was in a fight with Frank Martin, in Las Vegas. For me was a testament to where both fighters are in their careers. Just there's a lot of people who only expect one thing, from Martin, and it's a big world out there, and there's like nearly 25,000 professional boxers on this planet.
Champ, that's your time, but I'm with you again. Martin looked good to me. Nothing wrong with a little adversity. Majid, Ohio, what up?
What up, man? Y'all can hear me?
Perfect.
Everybody needs to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join YouTube members and Patreon for something. I guess I'll start off by saying shout out to Andy Cruz and motherfucking Frank Martin and shit, in their victories. I'm hearing some calls where people talking about, why they talking shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no dog in a fight. I'm like, we just got to remember storyline. They've been on Twitter back and forth. You had Frank Martin, a while ago, talking about fighting Shakur and Keyshawn, they could beat him, blah, blah, blah. So, and Andy Cruz, they had Andy Cruz before he even fought saying he had beat Keyshawn in the first fight. So they gotta realize that these niggas gonna talk shit just for the fact that been talking way before these fights was signed. So, I feel like with that Frank Martin, we seen that, an educated boxer that'd be able to find some gaps, but he gonna stay strong, all throughout the fight. Well, shit gets stronger. Like they said, he got his first eye collected. Shout out to the camp. I hope, man, that someday either niggas cross the street or people, just make these fights one way or another. We got a good ass year to boxing, so the more good names in boxing that contribute to this shit, just make it better for the fans and have them ready to spend that bread. So shout out to you, Ness, for keep on covering this shit day in and day out and enjoy this shit and letting us have our voice and our opinion, unlike other people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get those likes up and subscribe, man, so we can go back and forth some more. That's all I got, man.
Appreciate you, champ. Appreciate you. We got Matt Bent, 100, Kansas City. What it do?
Long time. Me clear my throat.
Was good.
Yeah, Alycia did great. Excuse me. In my opinion, she showed improvement from the last fight, and I don't think any of the girls that she mentioned can compete with her. Katie, Katie, hate to say it, but she's on the back end. Cameron, she's one-dimensional. And Serrano looks like she's on the back end as well. She's fighting on Heather Hardy, and Heather looks like she needs to retire. I follow her on Instagram. I'm like, man, she looks shocked when she's training. But that's my opinion. Frank Martin, I think he did great. He showed our defense. I was impressed with his defense, his movement. I just wish that he would throw more punches to make it more convincing. But the German is from pedigree. He's a gold medalist, a bronze medalist, and undefeated. And he came with purpose, right? He did not come to lose. He's like, I'm going to fight and do whatever. But, Frank Martin at the end of the day got a W. And I think he's ready for all the guys that he said that he wants to fight. I think he's ready for all the guys that he said that he want to fight. I just think if he ever fights Tank, he's gonna get tranquil and go to sleep. You know how that go. Alycia needs to put her left hand up. She got hit with too many right hands. I didn't like that, but she's very skillful. I'm not gonna repeat and say what other people have already said. Tank is free. Charlotte beats Canelo. Cool Boy is gonna take care of Inoue in his hometown. He's gonna chopstick him up and slay the monster. And great show, man. Love the boxing voice. Please, that's my call.
All right.
Kansas City.
And this is South Carolina. I gotta check. I mean North, I think. But if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to smash that thumbs up. It's going to help with the visibility. If you are a podcast listener and you're listening to this, it doesn't matter now, future, past, present, and you have identified that you're a podcast listener, we need you to go ahead and drop us a 5-star review as well on iTunes or whatever respective platform you're listening to. Got to help us stay number one. Burrow City E, what up?
What's good? What's good?
Chilling.
Yeah, man. I can't lie, man. I'm proud of people calling in with sense today, man. I ain't saw nothing wrong with that hard, tough fight last night. I mean, hell, I didn't even know shit about what's his name, Arteen. I mean, I ain't knew nothing about this guy, but I learned a lot about his ass last night. I mean, his footwork was top of the line, man. Like you see. Those European, those like Olympic-style European boxers, man, them motherfuckers can move, man. You saw Karen give Boots problem. Sandor Martin give, Teal problems. And, you know, I guess it was Frank Knight to get his piece of the medicine, man. But it wasn't really, I ain't thought it was that bad a performance to me. He came on, I think he should have followed directions a little better. I ain't never seen Derek James that animated in the corner except for the first Castano one with Jamel. But he was a little hype last night. He was like, man, you got to step it up, man. Step it up. Step your shit up, man. Hey, I like that, though, because you need that in your corner. You saw how Frank responded. He came out firing. So, you know, I like that. But, Next fight. I mean, I don't know nothing about him. I was looking at the guy Abdulayev or whatever his name is. You know who I'm talking about? Abdulayev.
Yeah.
I mean, what you think about that fight, nigga? I feel like you need to fight somebody, you know, top 15 and down. You know what I mean? Just keep getting down in that range there and work his way in. I don't believe he's ready for Shakur or nothing like that. Not right now. If he could get the Pitbull Cruz fight, I say take it. But I think he's holding out on Tank. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking down. What about this Raymond Martala? What do you know about him?
Yeah, he's fighting the Friday before Earl. Raymond Murataya. He's with Top Rank and Robert Garcia.
What do you think about him, man? Is he somebody Top Rank putting stock into? Like, you know what I mean? I know.
Yeah, I mean, we about to find out. We about to find out how good he is. He's gonna be fighting Jeremiah Nakatilia.
I'm gonna watch that fight. I'm gonna check that out. I'll check that out. I'm gonna pay close attention. I was looking at his record. I was like, damn, he got a solid amount of KOs and everything. I was like, he might be a real contender. I don't know if they taking him serious or not. I know they won't put a serious contender in with Frank right now, but yeah, I mean, if you could catch one of those guys, you know, one of those crowd pleasers, man, you got to get in there and do the same thing Boots did. Get you a guy that come forward and put them hands on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's my call, man. That's my call, my boy, man. But yeah, I wasn't too down on the performance. I think it was a good learning curve. I think this makes Frank a better fighter. He learned how to deal with movers from now on.
For sure, man. Appreciate you calling in. That's how I take it. Learning experience, you little adversity. It's like when Ryan went down, you know, you learn because you come out on top from it. Your performance proved that. I got High and Low Sports Central. $2 Super Chat says the boxing voice is more. Well, I mean, we have come to that time. Let them know where they can find you. Chill. Oh, actually, hold on. I got two people over here. Teddy B, what up on Discord? I ain't even peep him. What up?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, a couple things. Can I go back to Zepeda real quick? He doesn't have a way to a title. Like, if you look at the rankings, like the eliminators that have been fought, it's all been like PBC and top ranks. So he's going to have to fight somebody to get a title shot.
Bruh, Zepeda was offered a cross-promotion fight with Shakur, and he turned it down.
There wasn't enough money yet. It's going to happen in the next year. They're going to have to offer him big money because he's going to be in line for a title. So it's just like you can't skip over him. Like when them titles actually open up, they wouldn't open up yet. Like I wouldn't take the shot if I was Golden Boy for a non-title shot either. Like, I mean, as a fight fan, I would, but like not as a promoter. You want to wait till it's a title on the line. You losing a title shot is different from losing as a contender. So that's the whole thing with that. Like he will eventually have to fight. Like Golden Boy only has so many opponents, and they don't have anybody in line for a title. So he will have to fight a Shakur, a Tank, somebody like that. That's probably what they're trying to aim for too, is him to fight Tank instead of fighting Shakur. Like if you're gonna lose, make money losing. I think Andy. Somebody brought up a good name for Andy Cruz, Linares. Like, yeah, I know he's like worn, he's shop worn and all of that, but he's still a good name. He has a lot of experience. He's a good fighter. And that will show us, like, okay, if he goes out and knocks him out, now we talking about something. Like, yeah, I think he's the goods. Like, he looked really good. Footwork is spectacular. Good style. Crowd pleaser. Could be a crowd pleaser. So, yeah. But we need to see him against, like, that former world champion if they want to rush him. I'm of the camp that you can give him a couple more Burgos, then go former world champion. But hey, if you want to rush him, hey, let's go Linares and then let's go into the top 5 and try to fight one of them guys. Do what Shakur do and just call down the rankings. And then what else? The Baumgardner looks nice. I really want the Serrano fight for her. Like I think that's the fight that will take her to the next level of popularity. Have that in New York City. Or on the undercard of like a Katie Taylor fight. I think Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron, that would be like huge for them. And Frank Martin, I mean, I would just like, it's activity, I think. He's one of those type of fighters that he's a rhythm fighter, and him being off for 7 months and not having as much amateur experience as other fighters, I don't think he can deal with those layoffs. I didn't think he looked bad. I actually thought he could have got the stoppage if he would have came out in the 7th round and actually pressed like he did in the 6th round. But it seemed like he like took the 7th round off instead of like going out and actually trying to stop him, because he had him hurt in the 6th round.
Teddy
like he
B.
had to like turning his back.
Teddy B, that's the bell, champ. That's the bell.
All right.
I got King Born. What up?
Hey, yo, you hear me, right? I'm saying, good.
You sound like we can hear you.
Peace to King I.B. Peace, brother. Listen.
Peace, brother.
Your
What's
man,
good?
our man at 135 is back. He's home. Came home hugging money. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Probably got him like probably hit up his girl. Got some loving from her. So look, you look kind of skinny. You got the big fro like Julius, like Jesus Shuttleworth Sr. You know what I mean? Looking wild as shit. But look, he's back. So now, Everything we won at 135 could get this shit popping. All I need to know, y'all, is this shit gonna be wild with Devin Haney like the last Arab in Baghdad holding the gold Uzi? Is that gonna be a sight to see? You know what I mean, King? Is that gonna be a sight to see? Like I said, he's back, he's home. Let's get this 135 division popping. See Frank Martin, broke somebody's face and shit, allegedly. But like I said, man, yo, next, it's 9:30. I'm getting the fuck off of here so you get this shit popping tomorrow. And y'all know next week, the week of the fight, I'm starting a whole bunch of shit back here in the TV universe. Peace. Love you, Ness. Love you, King. Peace. I'm out.
Peace.
Yo, he said the last Arab holding the gold Uzi. That's bars. Shout out to King Boy.
Word.
Love yo. Word.
Shout out. I think we got to everybody. Now you can let them know where to find you, King.
King Amin of Essex 1 on Instagram, King Amin of Essex 1 on Twitter, the championship rounds here on YouTube, and I'll be here tomorrow morning, TBV on the motherland.
Let's go. Peace.